Hey, everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the Music Industry Makeover, another Thursday night edition. Yours truly, DJ Ronnie Ron, Simone Henry, and Rico Gibson. That's right. What's going on? Hey,
Loving it, man.
right.
Hey.
Good. How was your week so far?
Hey, it's good, man. Hey, it's wrapping up, winding down quickly.
Okay. Praise God. Awesome. Yes.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yes, it is. Well, hey, spread the word. We are here for another great show tonight, and we have awesome guests. But before that, we definitely want to recognize those who have been helping us along the way or so. Like, again, lifechangers2020.com. Go and check them out. All right, see what they're all about right there. Okay. Also on Friday nights, hey, In the Box. Join myself as well as Rico Gibson. Hey, Rico, tell them about In the Box and Just Life.
So In the Box is a show for creatives, to where we have people working in different various parts of the industry, whether it's being a producer, being promoters, managers, engineers, and they come in, they share how-to tips to teach you, to help you to expand, help you to grow. And Just Life is every Sunday, and Just Life is a show for people that struggle with depression, you struggle with some type of anxiety. A lot of times, man, life get tough, and we don't always have people. We're not always able to get through that obstacle or that hard time just by encouraging ourselves. Because some people just don't know how to encourage themselves. So that's what that show does. Not only does it teach you how to encourage yourself, but it also gives you some practical tips on how to get through certain things and how to, take control of your mind, and it helps you deal with life. So every Sunday at 8 p.m.
Awesome. Yes. And Eshe Music. Okay. Yes. What's going on? Simone, I see you got a few new clients, I see.
A couple. And we're working with them. They're doing well. Eshe Music is what I do is I have programs that are private coaching. I work with you individually to help you move your ministry forward through effective marketing that helps you build your fan base and ultimately make money with your music. So teaching you the same techniques that I am using. Since I have been using these techniques, my fan base has grown, and so has my bank account. So if you are interested in those kinds of results, let me know. I am here to help.
That's right. That's what we're here as Music Industry Makeover, to, again, help you build a fan base so that you can make money, show you all the other avenues out there other than what you thought was there. Okay. Awesome. Oh, man. And we also want to give shout outs to a few more of our sponsors. Again, Spectrum, make sure you go and contact them. Contact Patricia with that $99 special. All right. There's the number right there. Also, my man, The Rain, hey, he just graduated college, so congratulations. Go and stream his music, All Facts, on every streaming platform, okay? Hey, for all you producers out there, Goodfellas Studios in the Triad area, make sure you go and contact my man, Jarrard. All right, Mr. Jarrard Goodfella Robertson, putting it down, okay? And also my man, Blaine, yes, die for it. I got his wrist, man. Bracelet. Okay. Hey, we're going to have him on. He's one of our clients. And so, hey, definitely, he's making money other than just through music. So again, my man, Blaine, die for it, movetheword.com. Go and check out his website. All right. Hey, do we have anything else out there? Hey, hey, Mary, how y'all doing? Feel free, as I said, we got a great special guest on tonight. And this brother right here, we're going to get right into it. He's an awesome young man. I met him through brother. So Mr. Goldsmith, and down there in the Triad Trayfort area, as they would call it, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and he's been in the business over close to 30 years, I believe. And so we want to welcome for the first time and thank him for taking the time out to come and visit with us here at the Music Industry Makeover, Mr. Jarrard Goldsmith, Senior.
Hey. Yo.
How you doing, sir?
Hey.
Can y'all can see me this time?
Yeah,
yes,
we can see you.
All right.
Everything. Yes. Looking good, sounding good. That's what's up.
I'm in the office this time, so
all right.
There should be no interruptions in here.
Exactly. got that red Solo cup to it. Yeah, I see.
Always, man. Always. I know Rico and Simone, they don't know about my cup, but let's just say I got a lot of history with that cup.
All right.
We all got a lot of history with that cup.
But I ain't gonna tell you what's in my cup.
Man,
it's gonna make the conversation good for me.
Yeah, those who don't know, hey, Vera, how you doing? Again, Mr. Jarrard Goldsmith. I'll say this publicly. You know, when this man speaks concerning the music industry, so 90% of the time he is pretty much on it, and I appreciate all his tips and the wisdom that he puts out on Facebook. And we are a promotions company, okay, and he's at a higher level of promoting, okay, and so. You know, without further ado, I want you to tell us, you know, for us, how did you get into promotions? He is the CEO of Diamond Life Concerts Incorporated.
Yeah,
so,
go ahead.
Yeah. So what inspired you to get into promoting concerts and events and things?
Actually, my story is interesting because most people that see me and what I do. Because I have more of a secular background, but I actually started in church.
Okay.
So that's where it came about. May 5th, 1991. I was in high school and I used to do concerts with like high school gospel choirs and stuff. And I remember the date because we had a real bad tornado in North Carolina around that same year, but it was actually 1991. Never had no passion of doing events or anything like that. But to make it a long story short, what I thought was a small event turned into be a big and huge impact. So even when I was in high school, just doing high school gospel concerts, that's when I ended up meeting a guy named Tony Williams. Who was doing homecoming shows at North Carolina A&T. So Tony Williams is the one that actually brought me on to Diamond Life Concerts years ago. I think it might have been that's back when they was doing Aggie Fest. So a lot of stuff. So yeah, I was a teenager, pretty much doing, you know, these type of mainstream shows. The first time I ever did a show, I made $50. That was it. $50. And when I tell you they made me work for that $50, man, that was the worst. But not knowing as a teenager, they was grooming me, you know, and to be something. So yes, it wasn't something that I set out to be, but I think it was something that God pretty much ordained me to do. I've always had a gift to bring people together, but I never in my life thought that I would be doing this 3 decades. Yeah, at all.
Oh yeah, hey, yes, Carlos said this is going to be good right here. Great guy, yes, he is. Now, I want
Carlos, my dude.
Yes, he is, definitely. All right, he mentioned North Carolina A&T. If again, and I say this with confidence, that is the greatest homecoming on earth. That's the best, greatest homecoming out of all the schools is North Carolina.
What I heard.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. I don't know. That's what I heard.
And if you've been to an A&T homecoming, you've been to a Diamond Life concert event. All right, and that is the talk of the town, even here in Virginia. All right. Yes. And so, yeah, I just had to throw that plug in there. So, again, if y'all got any questions or comments or so, feel free to post them on there. Hey, Forrest, how you doing? He says, do you just do gospel?
No, I don't do just gospel, and I also don't do just music. You know, I've done, we've done plays, you know, we've done Tyler Perry's, we've done several of his tours with Tyler Perry. I've done events with professional athletes as well, like Chris Paul, Josh Howard, David West. I mean, we've had quite a few. I mean, I think 2011, when we had the during the NBA lockout. At WSSU, that basketball game, it's on YouTube. You can check it out on YouTube. And Winston-Salem was pretty much turned into NBA All-Star Weekend during that homecoming. I'm talking about LeBron James, D-Wade, Melo, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Baron Davis. I mean, it's like, you know, I can't even begin to name everybody, man, but that was like a huge thing. So I'd like to say it's more than just music. Gospel music is my roots because, like I say, I'm a church boy. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's not what put the food on the table.
Right.
I mean, I'm just be honest. I remember one time Kevin Bond produced Don Austin, Tri-City, and everybody. Yeah, y'all know Kevin Bond is.
Yeah,
I remember one time Kevin Bond told me we did a concert in Columbia, South Carolina. I think it was Kurt Franklin and maybe Hezekiah Walker and somebody else. And I saw Kevin Bond, and I can joke with him. He on my Facebook page. So, and he asked me one time when I was gonna stop doing the secular shows and just do gospel. And my honest answer, I'm gonna just be real with y'all. I said I don't do just gospel because I don't want to be broke. I'm just being honest. I don't do just gospel because whenever we did gospel shows, we had the cheapest tickets in the land. 1993, we did Kurt Franklin and Donald Lawrence in Tri-City. Guess how much the tickets was?
How much?
$5 and $7.
What?
Now you tell me, that's it. You tell me where in this country you could go see a Kurt Franklin and Donald Lawrence for $5 and $7. $5
to $7.
Because when those shows was done, it wasn't done for the money. It was done for the people. We wanted the people to come out and have fellowship. That show almost got me put in jail because the tickets was oversold and there was so many people that came out. You know how we do. We bought tickets at the last minute.
Right.
And, you know, all of a sudden about 700-800 people came. Tickets was from Harrison Auditorium. That's when Harrison was there. It was going all the way down to Holland Hall. But the thing with gospel, what makes it so hard, you have a lot of gospel artists that have prices like secular artists. But as a promoter, you can't charge the same price as you would for a secular show as you would with a gospel show. So when we did Festival of Praise, maybe 4 or 5 years straight or whatever, the reason those tickets could be so competitive because it was sponsorship, you know, but behind that you had companies that was putting up, you know, thousands of dollars, you know, to help do this. But that was the main reason why we did, you know, I don't do gospel in that way. And honestly, I probably never will. I mean, if somebody else want to do it, God bless you and keep you. I mean, you do it. I mean, you remember Al Watts, you did the Sister in Spirit tour.
Right.
You know, that was a wonderful tour. I ain't seen Al in years. I don't know where yet. I mean, stuff like that'll make you get missing.
So why we get to that mentality? Something gospel has to be free per se, or people don't want to pay to go see a gospel concert
because they read their Bible, but they don't comprehend what they read. But you know, even when you look at the Bible, it was even taxes there. So
yeah,
but the thing about my brother has a group, which you know. Yes, and I used to manage my brother's group. It was with Mr. Goldsmith and Sold Out. I mean, you know, I was the executive producer of all his projects and everything. And one thing I used to always tell him when he was doing the group, he was also working in the school system, but he wanted to do ministry full time. And I always told him this, that, you know, it's either you want to do it for the money or you want to do it for the ministry, because the two ain't gonna share the same home. And a lot of people don't understand that or comprehend that. But if you have a passion for the ministry, trust me, the money will come. I mean, I fund several projects right now in Africa, which you know about or whatever. Yep. And that's a ministry. But if I wasn't doing, other things to make that money, I wouldn't be able to do, the things that I do. But when we start looking at, these preachers or people, people love to, bash preachers and all this stuff if they got cars or houses or whatever. I don't have a problem with that. If my pastor got a Rolls Royce or a house, God bless you. That means I must gonna get a Rolls Royce and a house. I mean, I don't want no broke leader.
I want to bring up my man Keyron brought up about white groups have no issues charging $40 to $50 and getting it, but it's just us black folks. And there's a difference contrast between the CCM and the gospel industry, and it's like, okay, are we just too religious or what? I don't know.
No, I think I go to a multicultural church now. Mm-hmm. And being at that multicultural church, especially being somebody who's in a black church all his life, that was a different experience for me. But when it comes to offering time, mm-hmm. they raise the offering in less than 7 to 8 minutes, tops, if it takes that long. Black mm-hmm. church, it starts to sound like an auction. $50 over here. Can I get 20 over here? Can I get 5 more? It starts to sound like an auction, but they are cheerful givers. I mean, they give with a smile on their face. I mean, giving can be a form of praise. It can be a form of worship. Right. But I feel like if you're going to give, you should have a smile on your face. If you can't give and have a smile on your face and feel good about it, keep it in your pocket. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Don't give it. Yeah, don't give it. In the black church, we used to hear give until it hurt. I don't know where in the world they got that saying from.
Foolishness.
I will walk out your church. You tell me give until it hurt. Because no, I'm not doing that. Or the ones that tell you give such and such, and I want you to write me on Wednesday. Nah, because on Wednesday you trying to alter your bills to see how you gonna make it, to the next week. I mean, it don't work like that. But it's the mentality. But what you said wrong with it's a mentality, and that's just the mentality that we have to change. But we also have to see people that's in the gospel industry that's appreciating people and that's loving on people. People like the Kurt Franklin. Kurt Franklin gives his all. If you see a show, people like the John P. John P. Key been giving. John P. Key give more money than what he makes as an honorarium most times. Sometimes in concert. But that's just the type of person, he is. But,
wow, man. Also, again, we're talking with Jarrard Goldsmith Sr. here of Diamond Life Concerts. If you got any questions or comments, feel free to chime in, all right? Because, again, this is a marketing promotions network to where we help give you information, and we want to bring people who are credible, like this brother here. And, again, I thank God for him because I see what he is doing, especially when it comes giving over to Africa. And again, we're going to talk a little bit more on that as well too. Rico, Simone, do y'all have anything?
I actually wanted to go back, man, and I want to dive into the stuff like that. And when you mention like stuff like that, man, that'll make you go missing. The tickets that are $5 to $7, we understand that they're mindsets, but from your perspective, what can we do to help elevate the minds of the listeners, the ones that have the money in the church, so that they can be more, so it can become more profitable, right? What can be done in a logistical way or educational way, so that the guys and girls here that are doing music on this side can make more money with their music from your own perspective?
One of the first things that has to be done is the budget has to be realistic. And when I say realistic, some people.
Now go slow it down. Go back to the budget. Break the budget down.
Well, right? the budget is and I'm just speaking. I'm using my brother's group. Whenever his group went out, the biggest budget that I had to make and pay for was the band. And nothing against the band, because all of them are professional as as they can be. Ronald know, you know who they are. They had an all-star band, and really probably everybody that was in their band either I helped buy or bought their first instrument.
Wow.
You know, whatever. But they wasn't in debt. But keep the budget, you know, where it needs to be. And then and when I say budget, it's a lot of people that have groups now. You know, the choir was coming back. The choir was making a big comeback until coronavirus said no and set the choir back down again. Now we back to praise team again. But the budget is one thing. I'm sorry. I got my dog in here trying to play with me. But okay, man, chill. So, excuse me. When you say now, let me get to this. Let me ask you this: the venue. What venue is it? Is it a church venue or a concert venue? Because that makes a difference too.
So it is a difference. But let's say for someone starting, we want to say someone want to start from a church venue and grow it up to increase their fan base and then migrate to the bigger. So we want to start small. So what can they do to help them graduate to the, because obviously if you don't have no fan that's used to getting on no big arena, you don't have 20,000 people to find you. You got to pack out the smaller places first. So what education can you give them from your experience to maximize that?
Awesome. Again, yeah, while he took to his dog, if y'all got any questions or so, hey, again.
I got you. I'm coming back to your question. I'm finna answer your question. This is what they can do. Now we talk about 2020. Right. In 2020, they have social media. Mm-hmm. They didn't have social media back in 1991. Back then in the 90s, you had to get out on foot. You know, we had to put flyers under doors and things like that. You just said a key thing. You have to create an audience. I mean, you got to create an audience in some way, somehow. Nobody, no promoter, no church, nobody else should have to promote you. When you come in, if you got 10, 15,000 followers, at least 7 or 8% of that should be following you. You know where you going. I mean, go live. You know, a lot of artists are going live right now, and they're not making money right now. A lot of them haven't made or did a show since March. We haven't done a show since March. And realistically, we probably won't do a major show until next year. I mean, the way things, I know nobody want to hear that, but I'm just being honest. It probably won't happen until next year. There was a guy, Mac Miller. Mac Miller is a rapper. He's a white rapper. But Mac Miller had about 10 million followers on Facebook and maybe about 8 or 9 million on Twitter, and he had them on Instagram. He built his fan base so big, everywhere he went, he just announced with his thumb. His thumbs was doing his audience. Everywhere he went, his crowd went with him. And that's what you have to do. If you don't have but 300, 400 views on YouTube, you can expect 30 or 35 people to come and pay and hear you because they don't know who you are. I mean, just like you said. And if you don't have a fan base, a lot of times I have artists always tell me how much I got to pay to open up for blank show. And I tell them nothing. I am not a fan of pay to play at all. I know a lot of people do it. I hate it. And the reason I hate it is because if you pay me a certain amount to open for blank artists, ain't nobody gonna be there when you perform.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's the first. Nobody's gonna be there when you perform. Only thing you're doing is helping a promoter pay for a show, and nobody's gonna see you. But imagine if you take that $3,000-4,000 and do sponsored ads and put your music out there, where people don't know your name, but it's popping up in their feeds on social media, and you getting views every time they click on it or it shows up on their page, and you building up an audience. So I mean, instead of paying, comedy is the same way. That's very true. I mean, look how many look at the Wild and Out comedians. Look how all of them making money off doing jokes on social media. I mean, and stuff. So yeah, they got a different outlet now. It's no excuse not to get yourself and your name out there. No excuse. But you got to be good.
So it boils down to ethic, pretty much. So you have to have a work ethic mentality to go out and get those fans to promote yourself. You know, not to sit back and say, "Oh yeah, the Lord is going to bless it because He anointed me to do X, Y, and Z."
Well, and it's a whole bunch of people in that alphabet. It's a lot of them. Now, Simone, what do you do with artists?
Well, I coach them I do consulting and coaching, and basically help them to market themselves better so that they can build their fan bases. And I focus on monetizing, making money with their music.
And do they listen?
No.
Okay, and you see why, and the reason I'm asking that is because a lot of times people don't want to listen to somebody else. And
another thing too is that some of the things that I tell them goes counter to what they believe that the music business is supposed to be like. Okay. And what they're not understanding is that the music industry has changed. It has changed quite a bit. Yes. And, because I deal with a lot of older folks, to be honest. And, they're looking at 10, 20 years ago, and the music industry is just not the same. And they're afraid to try anything new. They're afraid to try different things. So it's, we've been here, we've been doing this for a year and a half now. And it takes repetition. It takes talking about this stuff constantly, every single week, every day. Eventually people will get it.
Right. Now, to this young man question here, what about promoters who charge indie artists to open up for majors? Is that a good idea? Hell no, it's not a good idea. That's what I was just talking about.
Good for the promoters.
Yeah, you know, because this is the thing. If a promoter is charging you to perform, all you're doing is helping to pay for a show that's in the hole. Because if that show is making money, trust me, you're not looking for somebody to help you with the come up and stuff like that. So when people come and tell me that, hey, I'm a local artist, no, don't use that word. I don't like that term, local artist or whatever. Because if you local artist, you need to get in a van and drive somewhere and perform somewhere else so you can stop being local. Because if people see you over and over again, they're not going to come to your show if they used to seeing you for free. That's why you don't see Kurt Franklin in somebody's church.
There you go.
Every Sunday. He used to be, at the Potter's house all the time every Sunday. But when it was time to get ready for that tour, he kind of had to take a step back, because if these people see you every Sunday, Bishop Jakes, I love him to death. He's a good pastor, preacher, everything else, but that's Bishop Jakes' ministry or whatever. But you have the artists, when they go on these tours and stuff, that's how they do, their ministry. But when you just caved in those same walls and people see you all the time, or if you're a local artist and everybody wants you to come to their anniversary, and you got to sit there and you see the same people. I don't care what city you're in, you're gonna see the same special guests at every anniversary, and people get tired of seeing you. So when they get tired of seeing you, they're not gonna pay anything. For us to see you. But that pay to play, I say do not do it. But I don't do local artists at all. So I'm not the person to inbox, text, or anything for us to put you on. No, that's not what I do. I do opening acts. So if you good, I'm gonna pay you. You shouldn't have to pay me. I'm the promoter. I should be booking you. Why are you booking me to book you? That's basically what you're doing. You booking me to book you. That don't make sense. But I tell people, if I put you on the show, and say it's the Greensboro Coliseum and you up in front of 15,000 people, after you perform for those 15,000 people, what are you gonna do next?
Thank you.
What's next?
Come on. Because
then that's when you're gonna have to find you a Simone. Somebody gonna have to give you some guidance and tell you what you're supposed to do. Because it ain't me.
Exactly. Hey, with this music industry makeover, we come on every Thursday night at 9 p.m. We're talking with Jarrard Goldsmith, senior of Diamond Life Concerts. All right, this is Instagram and Twitter information right there. Go and check him out. He's dropping some nuggets, some jewels, and confirming a lot of the things that we've been saying all year long. So that's why we have this professional here, because he's in the music industry. He's where you want to be, because a lot of you artists, you all want fame more than you want money. I'm pretty much convinced. And fame doesn't pay the bills. All right, money does.
So true.
And COVID-19 has changed all of that. It's a lot of these artists are not making money from sales. They're making it from streams. And back then in the 90s, 2000, before the streaming era took off, We were buying CDs, we were buying cassettes, we was buying music. Now we don't purchase music anymore. We just stream it. And I don't think some of these young people realize the difference between stream and a purchase. Get me purchase all day. You can stream all you want to, but I want that purchase because that's where, you know, your monetary. I mean, look at, and I know they probably don't get mad I say this, but let's look at Beyonce. Beyonce has a huge following, a huge following. You tell me why it takes her 3 years to go platinum. Why? Because they're just streaming. We're not purchasing. But then you look at Adele. When Adele put that album out, it was 6 months before it went to any streaming apps. Those were just pure sales only. That album went diamond. They talking about platinum. We talking about somebody that went diamond. 10 million, over 10 million albums. Would you rather have 10 million streams or 10 million albums?
Right.
So if it took Beyonce, who's big as she is, 3 years to go platinum, how long do you think it's gonna take you to even go gold or whatever?
Well, you know what he's saying is like Adele held her music back from the streaming profile. You can only get it purchasing it. Right. So if you're purchasing it directly from her, wherever her project is sold, she's going to get way more money than with the streaming, because with the streaming, it's what, you know, millions of streams before you see $100, you know. So
I think the last album that Beyonce did that was sold really well was Lemonade, because you couldn't get it on the streaming platforms for a while.
It was just on Tidal.
That's a strategic move.
I think Tidal is good for artists. It's a good concept. I love the hi-fi and everything, but it's nothing compared to the Spotify or the Apple Music or you know, even the Google. I mean, those platforms
aluminum. He's stupid, man. This boy's stupid. This boy's stupid. You're right. 3 years ago, aluminum.
How many is that? 50?
Oh
gosh.
But you know, if we look at our phones and our playlists, I mean, and what's in your library, look how many songs or albums that's on stream in your playlist versus the ones that you actually click purchase, and you use your Apple Pay or Google Pay or whatever to actually purchase that album. It's very slim to none. Very slim to none. So most of these artists make their money touring and, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, Chance the Rapper, good example. I think 3 years ago, that was on my birthday when that show happened. He gives away his music for free because he making his money doing shows, selling the merchandise, you know, and everything. But the music, he just put the content out there, you know, for free. But I mean, like I said, we got, but now you don't even have to be good in this era now. You don't have to be good. I mean, let's be honest. You do not have to be good.
That's true. You just need to build a loyal fan base
and great marketing.
All you need is a gimmick. Just need a gimmick. If you get a gimmick and you go viral, you're gonna sell. I mean, I think, you know, even artists like, you know, Drake, to me, he Aubrey. I mean, I'm just saying, he's Aubrey, that kid in the wheelchair from the show. And let me tell you why I say Aubrey, because Aubrey was this light-skinned, nice hair dude. You know, let's think industry-wise. You know, light skin, nice hair, nice smile. And, you know, they put this album out. That first album he did was classic. And the reason I say it was classic, it really had some hits and stuff on there. And I think now Drake, he has more number one hits than the Beatles now. I think more number one hits than the Beatles with 100, whatever he got. But this thing, he has a lot of number one hits. But how many classic albums does he have?
Not that many.
Because it's all about streams now. I mean, we have quantity over quality. So just because something gets 2 million streams, does that make it a good album? No. Somebody just, you know, you build up a buzz, you build up a hype, And if I get you to check it out and you get those streams, yeah, it don't take much to go number one, in this industry now. It does not take much at all. But
now, my man David said, if an indie artist wants to start touring, where would you suggest they start?
I mean, right now there is no touring, so
Yeah, right
you're
now.
gonna be waiting till next year.
Yeah.
There is no touring. The whole concept of touring right now, you kind of have to just put that on the back burner.
Dead in the water.
Right now. I mean, with this whole COVID-19 situation, nobody's finna be moving like that at all right now. So,
and them numbers spiking up, so it's going to be crazy in a minute.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I mean, and reason I said it probably won't be another show maybe till next year because with the restrictions that they're trying to put in place is ridiculous. I mean, trying to sit people 2 seats apart or whatever. I mean, come on, who's going to police that?
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't even want to put no staff. I'm like, y'all might as well just stay closed because it's not even worth opening up until everybody can be safe. And then everybody got to stop thinking that this virus is not real, that it's a hoax and all this stuff.
It's real.
Very real. I mean, living in New York, I know over 40 people in New York that died.
Wow.
In New York from this virus. And yeah, it's a real deal. So yeah, it's not anything to play with at all.
Wow, man. Wow. I wanted to ask you one of the questions I sent you for is what is the most stressful thing in promoting concerts?
The most stressful thing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say probably negotiating. And when I say negotiation, first contract negotiation, because you really want the contract and those numbers to be in a certain place, because I don't like being a part of shows that have high price tickets. So I want to always be competitive when it comes to ticket pricing. I've never, in almost 30 years, have never seen anybody complain about ticket prices, saying that's too high. Sometimes people say like, that's it. Or, I'm gonna do that. Well, no, I tell you, the only time I ever seen somebody complain about ticket price was probably the Medea Farewell. People complained and said that those prices was too high. But you know what? It sold out. It still went. So we pay for what we want to go to.
Absolutely.
We pay for it. What we want to
So
go.
we find valuable. If we find it valuable, yeah.
I will say this, and I'm not gonna say what country, but there's a particular music festival, and I ain't gotta say which one because it's a whole bunch of music festivals now. But there's a particular music festival, and when I used to go to the Billboard conference, touring conference and everything, and we probably one of the only black companies that's even amongst them, if you know what I mean. Because other than Live Nation AG, is not a lot of people that's doing, what we're doing right now. But there's a particular company that will pretty much price the tickets high, so we wouldn't buy tickets. You see what I'm saying? The tickets here because they don't want us to be able to afford to come to their show. And guess who the main acts are on their show? Hip hop. So you want us to come perform, but you just don't want us to come to be a part because you think we're gonna be too rowdy, too violent, or this gonna happen. The insurance for a black show compared to a white show, you would be surprised the difference between those. But and through this, we've never had any type of violent acts at none of our events ever.
Praise God.
Not one. Out of all these decades, not one. And I'm going to tell you why. You can have all the security in the world, but the best security you can have is the music. And I keep trying to tell these young people, these club promoters and people that all the time, the best security you can have is the music, because music is psychological. It's very psychological. You can't have thousands of young people, if it's homecoming and stuff, and you playing throwing elbow music and this and that's it. I'm serious, you got to throw some little Mary J. Blige in there. Even surprised with a little bit of Frankie Beverly and Mays and just mellow them out. You have certain artists come out there, they're gonna go crazy anyway. They're gonna run to the front, they're gonna do this. So in between, I'm very careful with these DJs what you play. I mean, I'm showing them out everything. I'm very, very particular about what you play when you at these events. But when you at you know, these other events, like a white events, you don't hear about the rapes. You don't hear about the overdoses and stuff like that. You don't hear about the alcohol poison and stuff like that. You know, I can remember doing a certain show where it was literally young people walking out in the middle of traffic with no clothes on because they had took Molly, they had took all types of, but it was just out there in the middle. The police didn't do anything, didn't do nothing. Just it was like it was no big deal. Now that had been our people.
Wow, that's crazy.
It would have been crazy, but like I said, there's but that's something we're a long way from that ever changing. Very long way.
Yes, I've been to a lot of his concerts and everything he's saying. I have witnessed it, and again, yeah, music is very powerful. Music is majestic. Like I mean, it's so
it has power.
It does. What you put out there, you got to be careful. Wow.
I want to ask a question. You spoke about COVID-19 before, there not being any tours. What are you doing these days with COVID-19? Have you moved your operations online, or what are you doing?
I'm exactly what you see right here, right now. I am sitting back. I'm chilling. I'm enjoying my family. My oldest son is at Hampton University. My youngest son is getting ready to be an upcoming senior. My wife is working home. She's actually working here. She's took over my office here. We have stuff that's already lined up. But financially, as far as a company, we good. So we good. Like I said, I've been doing this for decades. And I'm smart enough for us to put money up for a rainy day. And you know what? It's raining.
God bless you.
So
Amen.
I got enough to survive the storm. So I'm all right. I mean, and honestly, like I said, Ron can tell I've been doing this for years. So if I got to get out for a little, I'm on vacation. I'm just enjoying myself. But when things open up, we ready to go.
Right.
I mean,
hit the ground running again.
We had a lot of stuff lined up, but I'm glad you said it because there's a lot of people that's in this industry that's hurt, and I feel bad for them. And I feel bad for some of our guys because I don't have no work, for them to do, for us guys that do sound, lighting, or that's driving, doing security. I mean, concession. I mean, it's a lot of jobs and stuff that's, that's not doing anything. But the only thing we can do right now is, try to wait this thing out. Pray a lot. I mean, and being honest, a lot of people are not gonna make it. I mean, a lot of people are not gonna make it. I know people that's doing other jobs, and everything. But by the grace of God, like I said, you just have to be smart, with your money. And honestly, during COVID-19, a lot of people should have took advantage to pay some stuff off. I mean, this was a good time to refinance. It was a good time to buy. I mean, it was a good time to renegotiate some interest rates because of the situations that's going on. But we have, some of our people got so happy about $1,200, and I have no idea why.
Mindset.
Right.
$1,200 can't do nothing for me. I might be able to
last me a week.
But and you said a good thing, you put money aside, what I'm saying?
Yeah,
again, put aside for a rainy day. And a lot of us don't do that.
But I didn't always do that though, Ron. I ain't gonna even lie. I'm gonna tell you early on, I'm gonna be honest. After homecoming and stuff like that, my partners, them, they would just do something small. Maybe buy a jogging suit or a pair of shoes. I would go buy a car. I would go buy a car, pay cash for the car. I ain't gonna tell you how many cars I had by the time I was 23 years old, which was just ridiculous and stupid. But that was my mentality at the time. I came from pretty much didn't have much. And it was like once I started doing these things, I was like, let me do this, let me do that. And then one day, Tony Williams, he kind of priced me one day. Asked me how much my shirt was. I told him. Asked me, well, how much them shoes got on. I told him. I used to wear a lot of jewelry. I had diamonds around there. I even had a gold tooth. I had the Jerome gold tooth and everything. And he asked me how much money I had in my pocket. And I pulled out the money. I probably had about $1,800, $2,000 in my pocket. And he told me, he said, you know what? He said, I bet that's all you got. And I thought about that. And I said, what? He said, that's probably all the money you got. And he said, what you going to do 5 years from now? And that right there is what made me think about it, because he was right. That was all I had left. Because I would just spend everything I had. But when I started to, I had an uncle that was with Primerica Financial Services. So he was the one that would teach me stuff about finances and stuff like that. So I didn't always get it right, but I always tell people, never regret what you can learn from.
Absolutely.
So all that stuff that I did back then, and being, I ain't gonna say young and dumb, but I was just reckless. I didn't care. I mean, and I was depressed, So I wasn't living for tomorrow. I was just living for that day. So whatever was gonna happen that day, I was gonna do everything that day because I wasn't living for tomorrow. But now that I have 2 sons, and like I said, one finna be a junior at Hampton, his other baby boy get ready to go, both of them gonna be better than me. And it's nothing better for a father that can look at 2 sons that's gonna be due and go on and be greater than he did. I didn't finish school. I'm not proud about it. I went to North Carolina A&T, and I went to Winston State. Went to 2 schools. Even went to the Bible college. Did that? So that's 3 schools. I was never the one to complete anything. If I told y'all how many credits I had before I graduated, y'all would be like, "What in the world is wrong with that boy?" But school is not for everybody.
Right.
True.
It's not for everybody. And I enjoyed the college life, but like I said, I started doing and other things and going other places. And my grandmother, rest her soul, is probably the real reason why I didn't go back. Because I'll tell y'all this quick story. I was online one time registering for class, and my grandmother asked me, she said, "What you doing?" I told her I was registering for school. And she asked me, "What you doing that for?" And I say that same line that we always say, to further my education and to better myself. And she looked around at my house and she told me, she said, "Well, you look like you're doing all right to me." And I said, "I know." But then she asked me, she said, "Well, if you get that degree," she said, "are you going to be making more money than you're making now?" And then I closed that laptop. I'm serious. I closed that laptop. That's because, good. We get taught in school, they teach you where you're going to be in 5 years. They teach us where we're going to be in 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years and first until we retire. But back then, they weren't teaching us how to be entrepreneurs.
Right.
They weren't teaching us how to have our own. They weren't teaching us, they weren't giving us that mindset. I mean, but once you start seeing it and you get that high, that hustle and that drive, and Damon Dash is somebody who I would talk to a lot when I lived in New York. And Damon Dash, my dude. I mean, a lot of people think he's a hothead, but the guy has a lot of sense and he's got a lot to say, or whatever. He's very smart about what he does. But between his drive, talking to people like him, talking to people like Russell Simmons, talking to people like Kevin Liles. And Kevin Liles was probably one of the first people that I worked with, and Andre Harrell, rest his soul, But those were guys who would talk and, put that drive in you. And that's the same way, people got to be in the music. You got to have that drive. I mean, you got to have the edge. But a lot of times when they get discouraged, when the show don't go right or the show go wrong or whatever, then they get discouraged and then they wonder, what I'm gonna do next. I mean, when I first tried to do this, I lost all my money. I lost every single dime. I had a gentleman, I could say his name now because he's still my friend. His name is Chris Lee. He gave me a loan to help me do a show because he believed in me. And I believed in myself too. And I just knew I had a sure thing with this situation. And the show bombed, and it bombed real bad. And I didn't know what I was gonna do. Yeah, I lost several thousands of dollars from, you know, this event. But I didn't quit. I didn't give up. And he told me I didn't have to pay him back, but I did pay him back. It took me one whole year before I did, but I did pay him back, and I did keep going. And honestly, I mean, for these past couple of decades, I ain't seen but one loss in maybe 20-some years. I don't know too many people can say that.
Wow.
I ain't seen but one. And that's just been a blessing. But I feel like that's because, you know, God, he can bless you to bless other people. And that's basically what I try to do, is be a blessing to other people.
And your ability to negotiate. You got to mention that.
Oh, brother, I was woo. I squeezed that one out, that thing real tight.
But you gotta mention that caveat, because anybody who don't receive losses is because they are very good negotiators, and sometimes negotiating is very, very painful. It's probably one of the things that people who get money, we hate that, but we're gonna get that money though.
But you know what? A lot of people don't realize when you're on the phone, and I give people this short little tip: when you're on the phone with booking agents and they tell you my artist got to have blank, you got to know how to give a counter offer and tell them we got blank or whatever. All they can do is say no. They're gonna say yes or no. Now you can't cheat nobody, but if you don't have the means and capability, don't extend yourself into something that you know you can't afford. So that's why I said the venue has a lot to do with it. You can't get $100,000 out of a church like you could in a coliseum. It's just not gonna happen unless you have some type of, you know, sponsorship and stuff like that. And that's the other thing. There's a lot of sponsorship that's out there, but people just, it's not about for us even writing grants and stuff like that. It's all about who you know. Because I can just send a simple email to certain people and, you know, they gonna go ahead and do it. I had a professional athlete. Him and his wife sponsored an event for me, an annual event for me for 3 years that they never even attended. All they did was just send a check by the lawyer, but they never attended. But they believed, and they knew my track record, and they knew what I was doing. And you know, so even when the show go bad, always keep your name good.
Yes, that's
so
good.
I can get on here and talk on social media with y'all because I don't owe nobody. Ain't nobody owe nobody nothing.
So you said one key word, the sponsorship, that I think that because people don't really understand how it works. If they believe in you as a person, they don't necessarily have to come and be a part of what you're doing. But if they believe in you, believe in what you're trying to do, and you're not asking for an abnormal amount of money, right? They'll tend to support you, because a lot of companies, the fourth quarter, they will, if you have a legitimate business, they will sow into your business because they can write off as a tax write-off if your business is legitimate.
And it's gotta make sense.
Gotta make sense.
It's gotta make sense. Like, you know, I deal with alcohol sponsors too, but why would I bring an alcohol sponsor to a college? That's not smart. So a lot of times I have people, because I have people from alcohol companies call, you know, hey, we want to sponsor blank, 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 but it's got to make sense. But you have some venues. I remember, matter of fact, doing one of Kirk's tour when they did in Brooklyn, the King's Theater. They were selling alcohol at the venue.
Norfolk. Yep. Norfolk.
Norfolk doing it too?
Yep.
I was like, you know, who approved this? Because, you know, there are things that you can do, you know, to not allow these things to happen. But, you know, I'm sitting there listening to melodies from heaven. Somebody's bird. I smell Ciroc. I'm like, you know, what's going on? You know. Yeah, but I mean, they was come up in there. But I don't know which spirit it was. I don't know which drunken spirit it was, but that was an interesting time, man.
Like it's a spirit, but it's not the spirit from God.
I don't know.
Hey, we got 5 minutes or so again. We want to thank Jarrard Goldsmith Sr. for coming on with us. So if you got any last minute questions or comments that you would like to ask him, there's his information on there. His Instagram and Twitter, all right, at Diamond Life Inc. All right. Again, you know, we bring professional folks on here that know what they're doing, that are in the business, and it's all about who you know. But I know the key thing you said out of this is that, you know, you have to have that drive and determination. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And man, you know, that's what's going to get you where you need to go. The Bible says, what, Proverbs 10:4, you know, the diligent hand maketh rich. Okay. Yeah. You got to be diligent. You know, okay. I don't care how many folks gonna prayed over you. So faithful that works is dead. So
and I want to add, man, to that, you have to understand how to negotiate. You have to be realistic. You have to know what it is that you're negotiating. What is the real value? What is the price? What is being paid right now? You know,
and don't be desperate.
You can't sell an ice cream cone for $50.
No.
When they can go right to the store and get 10 boxes for $25. Right?
Got that right.
This is a part of negotiating, because some of you act foolish, right? You know, you can't do that, because what happens is, in the music business, you got one time to come to the table with a foolish answer when somebody's offering you something, and you counter with some stupid crap. The door is going to get closed on you. Nobody's going to want to deal with you. So you have to know the amount that you're asking for. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Is that what's being paid compared to if what you're asking for as an artist, if I compare 2 or 3 other artists that's doing what you're doing with your fan base, your amount of records sold, just, you know, and they're getting a third of what you're getting, you're not going to get that. So you got to be realistic. So before we go, Jarrard, talk about that for me, because I think they need to understand that, because that's one thing that I think that's missing. So just talk about that for a second, bro.
And well, let me add to what you were saying too, real quick. One thing I would say to promoters as well: don't ever do a show you can't pay for.
Thank you.
And the reason I say don't do a show you can't pay for, if I do a show, if don't nobody show up but the 4 of us, that check's still gonna be good at the end of the show. But if you do a show and you done borrowed the money to pay the deposit only, and you're gonna try to make up the rest of it on ticket sales, you ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it.
That keeps the desperation out of it, and then you don't do foolish things, right?
Then you're gonna be asking any artist to pay you to perform.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't do a show you can't pay for. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, you can't do it, you don't do it.
Man, I done seen plenty concerts that bust and jokers getting desperate out there, and it's like you didn't.
I mean, we've had certain artists to show up for our shows that don't even get a deposit. They just come to the show because they good. You'll get your money when you get there. That's the type of reputation that you want. I think it's crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's crazy, but that's the type of trust that people have, because they know if they coming, you good. Yeah, you're gonna be well taken care of. That check ain't gonna bounce.
Oh, hey, awesome. Hey, real quick. How do you deal with folks that want something for nothing, always asking for a hookup? Can I get some free tickets, man? What's up, man?
Man, I have that all the time, but you know, I'm used to it now. Most times I brush it off, but I used to walk around with tickets in my pocket. But now I give tickets to people that need them. I give tickets to single mothers. I give tickets to people that may not be able to go to shows or whatever. I give tickets to people that need them. I give tickets to pastors because they need a break too. You know. So yeah, I give it to people that's in need now. So I don't pay all of that other stuff.
Awesome. Man, again, we want to thank Jarrard Goldsmith Sr. for coming on here, the Music Industry Makeover. As I say, this brother, I've watched him and everything he said. You know, he's a man of integrity, and I definitely admire that in him, because I already told you that you one of my mentors, man, my music mentors.
Hey, man, I had fun with y'all, man. I really did.
Seriously. Hey, real quick,
it was great having you.
Any last words you want to give the people out there?
Hey, if music is something that you want to do, don't stop doing it. Take this time during COVID-19 to perfect your craft. And when I say perfect your craft, perfect it. Stop putting out music, stop putting out certain things and asking people how this sound. You ain't supposed to. All you're supposed to do is just let people listen to it. Period. Don't ask nobody for their opinion. Just put it out there. Be aggressive. Put it out there. I mean, have some tough skin. Put it out there. See how people gonna respond. But if you upload something on YouTube or anything like that, expect the good, the bad, and the ugly. And please stop sharing music with your family and friends because they're not gonna tell you the truth.
Exactly.
They're not gonna tell you the truth.
Preach it.
And the people in your church, because they not gonna tell you the truth either.
Man, they're gonna get your hopes up high. They're gonna get your hopes up high. And I, Bruno Mars has a new album that's been pushed back, which I really wish it wasn't, because Bruno Mars to me is keeping live music alive. A lot of music now sounds the same. I blame Garage Band and auto tunes.
Oh yeah, Garage.
I mean, you can make a whole album on your phone now. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, even Kanye West admitted that he made 30% of his album from his phone.
Oh my
I think that's just absolutely ridiculous. But I think live music is going to start, coming back. I mean, play some instruments. We used to want to buy instruments. Now everybody just want a laptop. Everybody want a MacBook Pro. Everybody want a MacBook Pro, man. I can't stand when a music director shows up at a concert and I see him pull out a computer, I'm ready to slap. I'm ready to slap because I already know what he get ready to do. He's gonna get ready to want to play them tracks and all that stuff. I mean, Prince, when he did his first album, Prince played 23 instruments, all 23. Wow. Who does that? Brian McKnight, he played all the instruments and stuff on his album. The band stays at the hotel. Brian McKnight would come and play everything, every instrument, check everything. The band don't show up till it's time for the doors to open. Mm-hmm. I missed that. But we have artists now, everybody sounds the same. And one thing Mark Cuban, who's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, told me, we had lunch one time at the Billboard conference, and he was talking to me about Fuzz, what I was doing. And he told me, he said, whenever you start doing something and everybody's doing the same thing that you're doing, he said, it's time to do something else. Mm-hmm. I said, okay. So, and Ron, so when you can see certain people doing certain type of shows, mm-hmm. Ron, you always see we go somewhere else. Yeah. So if everybody doing R&B, we going over here. If everybody doing rap, we going over here. If everybody doing this, we might do the circus. We might do something else. You don't want to do the same thing. Look at our singers today. A lot of these singers sound like everybody doing the same runs, everybody doing the same riffs. But you remember in the 80s and 90s when you heard Vanessa Bell Armstrong, you knew that was Vanessa Bell. You knew when it was CeCe Winans. You knew when it was Shirley Caesar. You knew when it was Yolanda Adams. But now everybody is sounding the same.
Rappers doing the same cadence. Producers,
man. I don't even talk about rap.
As soon as Pop Smoke died, everybody want to sound like Pop Smoke. Everybody want to do drill music.
He was a good kid. I mean, I remember him from Brooklyn. He was the same age as my oldest son. He was a good kid. His mom was a preacher. I don't know what church, but I think she was a preacher as well too. Mm-hmm. But he had a different sound. He kind of had that DMX, that rare in his voice. But when you listen to the radio now, everybody has the same voice. Mm-hmm. Everybody got the same voice. I think Chuck D probably had one of the most powerful voices in hip hop. KRS-One, Rakim. Yeah, gotta say right. They had these, Big Daddy Kane. They had these types, of voices. But now everybody wants, and I got to give it to the Migos. The Migos started all of that. The Migos started that whole trend, that whole flow, and everything that everybody started using. And then when Jay-Z and Beyonce pulled, the Migos, I was like, oh Lord, it's about to be Migo crazy now.
And they want to copy that in gospel. You know what I'm saying? And then they want to copy the same style in gospel.
Well, now they call it trap gospel. I said, what in the world is trap gospel?
Trap gospel.
Yes, wow. Trap gospel. I ain't gonna say the artist's name, but yeah, they do. I'm a quartet man. Give me a snare and an open hi-hat with some quartet singers in the day.
Oh yeah, who's your favorite quartet group?
Oh, I like the what's the Williams Singers? Is that their name?
William Brothers.
No, not the bro. It's the Williams Singers.
No, the Williams sisters.
No, singers. They call it like the Williams Singers. They it's another. There's some young guys.
All right, so it's a new group then.
Yeah, but they nice. Yeah, they nice. I mean, the Williams brothers was one of my favorite groups. You know, I like Melvin was. Yeah, you know, Melvin could take.
Yeah, Melvin.
And, what's my man Lee Williams?
Lee Williams and the Spiritual QCs.
Lee Williams was
Lee Williams could stand there and just pat his foot, tear the whole place up.
Yep.
I ain't never seen Lee Williams move. Yeah, he stay in one place.
One place and point that one finger like yeah.
I mean, a roach can run across the floor. He ain't gonna step on it. He gonna stay in that one spot.
And he was the only quartet gospel artist where people were threw money at him. I saw it myself. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Lee Williams, he's that dude, man. I mean, like I said, I know he's having health issues and everything, but he was that dude, man.
Man.
Yeah, that's what my brother said. Yeah, it's the Williams Singers. That's it. Yeah, that's the name. Look them up. Williams Singers.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, they band and that band, whoever they got is killing.
Man, okay.
So I guess anybody with Williams can sing.
Mo Williams too, right now.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank y'all so much. Jarrard, thank you again, sir. And you know, I thank God for your concerts, all that you've done. Because if I never moved to North Carolina, I would not have known about Diamond Life. I would never have experienced A&T, the greatest home.
We'll be back, man.
Yes, and if you all have never been, you need to make it once all this clears. All right. I mean, I went to Bethune-Cookman, but again, hey,
bless your heart.
Hey, but and we next to FAMU, but we also have the best classic, the Florida Classic.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Hey, okay, so now most you, because I'm originally from Orlando, so it was like, hey, okay, but hey,
what school, Simone?
Morgan State, where we had the best marching band.
DC area, yeah.
What about you, bro?
Hey man, I'm Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, you down there? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you sound like you down there? You down there?
That orange dude coming down there. The orange dude about to bring that virus down there, so don't go down there.
It's already here, bro. It's going.
Huh? You in Jacksonville now?
I'm in Jacksonville right now.
Man, you might as well get ready for a treat, man. They trying to bring 19,000 people in that building. They got to be crazy.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, but cool. Any last words you want to say?
Not really, except for visit Music Industry Makeover, where we help you to push your music forward. And, you know, we're going to help put you out there and get you going so you can build up that fan base that you need.
Yes, you can. Definitely. All right, Rico.
Don't forget about In the Box tomorrow night, man, at 9 p.m. Just Life on Sunday. And also, man, we got a new single, man, from Radiant, man, called Mortality Rate, man. So be looking for that, man. You see the cover on my page. We're going to kind of put it up a little bit, let y'all check it out, man. And
when does it come out, Rico?
That's just going to come out, man. It's going to come out officially next week, but we're going to do like a little drip drop. And probably tonight, man. We're gonna let it come out.
Let me know. I want to hear it.
All right, man.
I see them speakers back there, man. I want to hear what you're working with.
hey, Jarrard, man, hold on. So don't go nowhere once we in this right here. But again, okay. Hey, well, thank y'all so much for tuning in. All right, every Thursday night it's the Music Industry Makeover. Okay, at 9 o'clock. So tell others about us. If you're an artist, so feel free to look us up. I want to thank God for the artists that we have that's working with us thus far, and you know, we're just going to the next level. Again, thank you so much, Jarrard, man. Again, I really do appreciate this, and you know,
man.
It's good. It's good to know people and keep a good name, because that's my favorite verse, Proverbs 22:1. A good name is rather chosen than riches. All right, and I've seen you display that, and especially with your brother, man. Awesome artist, man.
That's dude.
Hey, I still play
my brother, man.
Yeah, hey man, Mitchell, man. We definitely got to have you on here for sure, man. But I still play your song there. I ain't worried. So hey,
Yeah, I'm gonna check you out on the radio, on your radio show.
yes, that's right.
It's this Saturday, right? See, I'm plugging your radio show.
That's right. Tune me in if you're in the Hampton Roads area. Praise 104.9. All right, hip hop praise at 9 o'clock. All right, hip hop and RP flavor for the Savior. Oh yes, and remember, you matter in the kingdom of God. So don't compare yourself or your ministry to anyone else out there. Just do what God has called you to do, and you'll be just fine. All right. Hey, God bless you. We love you. We'll see you again. Stay safe out there. Peace.